shalom, people.
Shalom.
We thank y'all for this opportunity to come before you. And as we go into discussions, always other discussions come up. So with this one, it was like, whoa, let's end the one discussion. I was led to start a new discussion. We're going to talk the 10 Commandments. All right. And the reason why we need to talk the 10 Commandments is because there's a lot of people that feel the law has been done away with. And then the next thing they say is, well, I pretty much do all the law. Okay. Right. They say, I'm not killing. I'm not stealing. I'm not committing adultery. I'm not lying on folks, bearing false witness. I'm not covetous. I have my own stuff. I'm not doing none of that. I honor my father and my mother. But you know the ones that they really, that we need to deal with? Because see, I just named 6. So there's 4 that we need to talk about. And people need to get some clarity on. And this those first 4. Those first 4, okay? The first one is, okay, we can pretty much go, most people cover that one. They believe that there's one Yah, that there's one God. Okay, they believe that. We can accept that, except for, of course, atheists that believe there is no God. Yet, the one thing about atheists is I always say, for you to not believe there's a God, you sure do spend a lot of time trying to refute it. Why would you waste your time refuting something that you don't believe exists? Right. But that's another whole story for another day. Right. But for the most part, we'll give people, the Christendom community, we'll give them one. We'll give them that they believe in God.
But then we also have to address those polytheists who have more than one, and they which is absolutely wrong.
Of course,
because Yahweh said His glory He will not give to another.
That's true. And also, number one, because I'm trying to be as lenient as possible. Because I'm trying. What we're doing is we're trying to just clean up. Get rid of these cobwebs. Okay. Get rid of these loopholes you think exist. Okay. And for those that are already awake, if you will, this is giving some arsenal. This is giving some bullets for your gun. We can look at it like that. Iron sharpens iron. So listen. But okay, so with that first command, well, they say that there is one Yah. Okay, they accept that. Monotheism. They accept that there is one. Okay, we're gonna go with that group because, like you said, the other groups where it's like, oh my goodness, I think in the Hindu culture there's over 1 million.
Right.
It's like, come on, right. It just depends on who you talk to.
Right.
You don't know what you're gonna get, So we're not we're trying to deal with the Christendom community because they're so quick to say, well, I don't do all these other things. Well, let's deal with the things that, well, I don't kill, I don't do all these other things. Well, let's deal with the other ones. So number one, we'll give to them. Number 2 is to bow down or to worship, like you were speaking of how there's so many other gods and things like that. But with Christendom, we'll say, okay, yeah, you're not, but in a way they are. Because if we start getting into idol worship, let's deal with it. Number 2 is that you do not bow down to any other el, nor serve them.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Nor make them with your hands.
Nor put your hand over your heart.
To them.
And pledge allegiance.
Hello.
To them.
Hello.
Come on. Every time you at a ball game and you standing up and you're taking off your hat and you're putting your hand over the left side over your heart and you're looking at a what? Flag.
Right.
And that's an idol.
It is.
That is an idol. Mm-hmm. Wake up, people. That is an idol.
Also, to wear anything that is representative of Yahweh. For instance, these bishops who wear these crosses, these large crosses, and there is you shall not replace him with this object, because the object
and that goes with Star of Darwin too. Oh boy, did I just step on some feet?
Exactly.
What is it, Remphan?
exactly.
Yeah, people need to do some research on that.
Rim fam.
Yeah, buddy.
And those who go to work incessantly.
Mm.
You're
what are you saying in that? You're idolizing your job?
Idolizing job.
Okay.
Idolizing, basically looking up at young people with posters on their wall of quote unquote superstars.
Oh, idol worship.
It's idolatry.
Yes. There's a movement, and I've noticed it, with all of these social media platforms. There's a group, if you say anything against Beyonce, they're ready to stone you. They're ready to fight you. They don't even know her. Right. But they worship her.
Right.
It's sad, actually.
It is.
And yes, you're right. I didn't even think of, but yes, there are communities like that. There are people like that put these people, fan clubs, there you go. That put these people above all others, will fight you about people they don't even know, wouldn't even recognize them or shake their hand on the street.
Exactly.
Fan clubs. Yep. That's idol worship.
They are all idolaters.
Yeah. So now, fine. I keep the 10. I'm not breaking. Yeah, are you keeping the 10?
Right.
Exactly. Now, number 3 falls into what you said about the idol, making idols. You're not supposed to make any like an image. Well, let's talk about Caesar for a moment. Yep. Can we talk about Mr. Borges?
Yep.
Go on and break it down, Raha.
This guy, we see him. I've seen him in almost every Black home between here and West Germany. His picture has him as a serene-looking individual who is humble and
sometimes blonde hair, blue-eyed, and then oftentimes the dark hair with that heart pendant. Oh, they used to always bother me. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about it.
Right. See, the thing that most of you don't realize, don't understand, is that not only is not the Mashiach, but this guy actually is a gay murderer. He was a gay murderer. It's probably still playing. It's a series called The Borgias. And it actually talks about this man and his family.
Right.
It was
his lover that did the picture. Right. The picture that's in everybody's home.
Exactly.
His gay lover did.
Guess what? You are worshiping a homosexual
in image.
Yes.
In image. Yes. And it clearly says in number 3 of these 10 commands that you're saying, we cool. Number 3 says you don't make no like an image.
No likeness.
So let's be real. I don't want to see no Black Jesus either.
Exactly.
I don't want to see any, and I'm saying of course, those listening, but I'm making a point. We shouldn't be showing him any kind of way. Now, what does that say to all of the movies that we see that show him? The what's the one? The Messiah is a show that's on Netflix. Or the Passion of Christ.
Passion of Christ, right.
Where does that fit in there? Or is there some, what would you call it, license to go on and depict that? Or should we not even be, it's a tough one, and we need to deal with it. But what about the biblical movies that come out? Even Moshe, the 10 Commandments.
The
adaptations, if you will.
Yeah, adaptations, and that's all that they really actually are.
Okay.
When we look at them, I remember watching that with the guy that was playing not the latest, but the biggest the Batman movies, Christian Bale.
Oh yeah.
Christian Bale.
Mhm.
In that I saw just a little bit of um, um, idolatry,
Mhm.
as well as a lot of, shall we just call it Hollywood magic.
Yes.
And that with that I had a problem. I saw it in fact just somewhat recently, and I was kind of taken aback by what I saw. It's like, wow,
you know what,
do they
with
have
me,
to add all of that
I
stuff?
was just about to say that. With me, I used to watch those movies. But I praise Yah that if I do watch them now, I see it with a discerning eye.
Right.
And it's kind of like it's kind of like what is it? You chew the meat, spit out the bones.
Yeah, you're guarded.
I'm guarded. I'm very guarded because there's been a lot of liberties given in these movies.
And take it.
Oh my goodness. And I've seen straight out lies in these so-called biblical movies. And I'm like, that didn't happen. But they added, what is it? Artistic license.
Artistic license
is what it's called.
It's more. It's
a lie.
It's more autistic license.
Yeah. It's a lie. That's what it comes down to. Because they wanted to make the movie more, interesting.
More sexy.
Yeah, or they wanted to make it more dramatic. So they added relationships that didn't exist. Or they told the relationships in a way that I'm still looking in the word to see how I get to that, but they're taking that artistic license, and therefore through that, those two little nice words, they're telling a lie.
Right.
It's kind of like when you say a white lie. A white lie is still a lie.
Which is just a euphemism.
Yep. It's a nice way of saying a bad thing.
Right. It really is. And that's what it is with Hollywood.
Hollyweird,
right?
Now that's not to say, because I'm telling you right now, I will watch a movie. I'm not saying we can't watch a movie, my goodness. But certain movies I definitely wouldn't touch. I wouldn't even seek to even, search them out.
Right.
I don't deal with, certain movies, period. But when we're dealing with this 10 commands, and the third one being no idolatry, no imagery of him, and or anything that is in the heavens above, nothing that you're making you should be worshiping, is what it's saying.
Exactly.
It's not saying you can't make a sculpture, but you're not making that sculpture and then you're worshiping it. Very similar to the Catholic movement. They're full of statues. I know, because I was a Catholic the first 12 years of my life, but like St. Peter, for instance, St. Peter, you put, it's different ones, and there's little different things, which is nothing but witchcraft. I will repeat, it is nothing but witchcraft. I shouldn't be able to take a statue, put it in my front lawn facing a direction, let's say east, and then it's supposed to do these magical things on my property. Okay? Right. That is witchcraft.
And the Bible says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
There you go.
It didn't say that you should just kick them out of the community. It says, "You shall not suffer them to live."
That's right.
Basically, they're saying, there's death by stoning. But in these days, we can't just do that. Because we are we that are in the United States are under
their rules,
their rules and regulations,
and you cannot murder, kill, or whatever.
But now here's one question. Now I don't want to throw it off.
Sure, no.
But when you do that and be obedient to Yahweh, is that really murder?
No. There's a thing called self-defense.
Well, I'm saying, even in this particular case, against a witch.
Oh,
if you go to the house and you yank this person out of the house, you take them outside and say you've stolen the death, is that murder?
Okay, it is not murder in the eyes of Yah, but this is when you step into being a martyr. And you will have to suffer the consequences of a martyr. You saw plenty of times in the scriptures or in the New Testament, whatever you want to, call the words, where they went to jail for acts that they broke in the world system.
Right.
So you still may have a price to pay to answer your question. But in the eyes of Yah, he done opened up, he caused the guards to fall asleep and they walked right on out of the prison.
Walk right on out.
See, so
right.
you got to remember, we're living in two kingdoms. We have the kingdom of Yah, that's his sovereign, that's his reign, but then you have the governmental systems that are in place as well. And he tells us, are supposed to abide by their rules. We're supposed to keep peace with all men. So with that being said, that's the way I would answer that, is that, yeah, you may kill that witch, but you need to understand that you're going to do some time if you're caught for doing it.
Right. That's that, and that that was what I wanted people to hear. But then where is it in the book of Acts where it says that we ought to be more obedient to Yah than to men.
Oh, most definitely.
Thing is, you may go to prison in this world, but the prison that Yahweh has set up, you want no parts of that. You really want no parts. I'm not saying that you go next door or wherever the person goes, snatch them out of their houses and kill them.
Right.
But you do not fellowship with them.
Right.
You keep
keep your distance.
Right, exactly. Because of this individualized type of society.
Well, the problem with
we don't have all of that, those liberties. Now, if we were in our own community,
there you go. You can restrict certain behavior.
Right, exactly. And a witch popped up, and we can take them out, push them out.
You cast them out. Yeah, you get away from this fellowship.
Exactly.
And you know what? Here we go again, because we cry loud and we spare not. That includes the homosexual.
Absolutely. Again,
that includes the homosexual.
Romans chapter 1.
26.
Yes, he breaks it down. That the men have given up the natural natural affection,
and women as well,
of the women, and all of them as well, the homosexuals. In fact, in another place, the effeminate,
yes,
or homosexual,
or
if you want to, even just someone that's just feminine, that just acts feminine, who acts like they have to cross dress.
And we got that going real. I mean, the confusion is on. The enemy is. I thought I had seen it all until I saw a boy who likes to dress as a girl dating a girl that likes to dress as a boy. So they flipped the script. So on a technicality, they are heterosexual, but they're both cross-dressing, which a man should not wear feminine clothes. And there you go. We're going into the word, the commands, the ones they don't want you to pay attention to in the Old Testament. But there's a place for that as well, because that's the thing, looking for loopholes.
Right.
So they're like, I'm not gay.
Trying to create those loopholes. But sure, you may not be gay,
but you're cross-dressing. You're bringing confusion.
That a man should not wear women's clothing.
There you go.
Period.
There you go.
And neither a
woman, or present himself as a woman. And a woman should not do the same. Exactly. She should not present herself as a man.
Exactly.
So right there, that's why it's like people want, and it's not people, the enemy wants the law done away with, because every single thing has been covered.
Yep.
You just got to have the mind to go and read it and seek it out.
Exactly.
It's all been covered. It's all there. And you know what? The enemy know that word.
Yes, he does.
And that's what he did. He sat down with it, and he just, in my opinion, he sat down and just said, "Oh, he wants you to do this. Well, I'm gonna teach people to do the opposite. Oh, he wants you to do this. Okay, I'm gonna tell them to do this. Oh, this was a little tricky. I don't know how I could get around it. I'm gonna create." What did he say? And Yah allows it. Strong delusion.
Yep.
It's a term. It's an actual term for this loophole mentality that people think they're getting away with stuff, and they're really not. You're delusional.
And again, these people need to read the word, because the word says, and I challenge people to find it. I'm not going to say where it is. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
It's Bible says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily,
yes,
therefore the hearts of the Son of Men will fully set them to do evil.
Yes, and what that means is, just because you didn't get punished right there and then for the action, you think in your mind you got away with it.
Right.
But you didn't get away with anything.
You did not.
You did not. You may continue to live. You'll hear stories. Some of the meanest people live into their 90s and 100s. They was just mean. They were ornery. People didn't like them. They did wrong all their lives. But then you automatically think, well, they still living, so he must have favor with them. He must have, when you don't realize a lot of people have been put in place. Woo, we're about to go deep, but let's go there. Some people were devils from the start.
Right.
And they were put in place. Did not Mashiach say that about Judas?
Yes.
He said he was a demon from the start.
In the beginning. Yep.
Which means he was put in place. Now you got to think about that. He was a demon from the start. That means they didn't meet until they were in their 30s and beyond. That means all that living that Judas did, we don't know all of his background story. Right. But imagine how many lives he touched, and imagine how many he touched that it could have been some negative energy that he brought into these people's lives. Just because you're living doesn't mean you're not affecting other people.
Right. Exactly.
And just because you didn't get caught or you continue on doesn't mean that you're going to get away with it, which is, like you said, let them seek out that verse that you're speaking of that shows that just because you still here don't mean that you got favor with Yah. You're here if you were a demon from the start, because your life, you're supposed to be touching other people, and you might be increasing the enemy's role, or you might be turning people to Mashiach. It depends, or to Yah. It depends on what happens. But if you're a demon from the start and you are continuing to live, just like I said, and just like you've heard, people are like, he was so mean, he was so evil, he was this, he was that. Oh, I heard he did this. Oh, I saw him do this. Those people are affecting people's lives.
Right.
And that's what you got to remember. Everybody's been put in place for a reason.
Exactly.
And yes, even the bad ones can live long lives. And on the flip side of that, good ones, babies, they may die early. So that's not an indicator as long as you live. He promised us long life, but that's a different type. Come on. Right. Oh my goodness, we just got into it. Yeah, that's a different type of life.
We're finding Psalms 91.
Yes.
Talking about with long life shall satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Yes.
That's the thing. He is going to show you Yeshua, or I should more purposefully say Yahshua.
Yes. Yes.
He is going to show you the Savior.
Yes.
Or in other words, he's going to expose you to him. He is going to make, and that's the difference. The difference is that when you leave this life, you are going to get to see
the
Mashiach.
Yes.
You are this was Moshe we're talking about. Psalms 91. This is a few thousand years ago. See, they lived, for someone to say, to make that type of statement means that they have seen kind of into the future.
Yeah.
Moshe has seen. See, he is a prophet, was a prophet.
Yeah.
No matter what things we say about, oh, he was disobedient, he went to hell. I don't think so, because he showed up with the Mashiach.
There you go. And
in the Mount
the
of
Transfiguration. There you go.
That means that Yahweh is still using him.
That's right. He represents the commands or the law.
A couple thousand years after his death.
And they still having conversations.
Right.
That's the biggie.
Exactly.
He had a meeting with both of them.
Yes.
He met with the spirit and he met with the law.
Elia, exactly.
Okay.
And Elia is still another one.
Say it in the English way so that they understand, because everybody doesn't know Elia.
Elijah,
right,
never died, as far as we know.
That's right.
He went into another
realm.
He went to another phase,
dimension, or something,
where he was where in fact, the same thing happened to Hanok or Enoch. Enoch, Bible says that he was not, for Yah took him. There are only a handful of people that are like that, but those people are significant because because Yahweh moves by examples.
Okay.
The first example was day 7.
Okay.
When he rested. He said, from now on unto eternity, of all the lights that I've set up are going to be for seasons and holy days and for agriculture. He set everything up already, and then he took a rest.
Yeah.
Did he need to stop? He didn't. He didn't have to if he didn't want to.
Right.
But he did it because he was setting an example.
There you go.
He sets examples,
yes.
And he grabs. He's somewhat eclectic because sometimes men do things that Yahweh admires as well.
Yes, yes.
And he added them to the law. See, that's what the whole thing is about. It's about being one of my first messages in BEYT'EL was about Yahweh calling your name.
Yes.
Or your name being known by Yah. In other words,
for him to truly know you.
For him to know your name. That's the thing. We have to. I mean, we strive to be excellent.
Yes.
But in our striving to be excellent, we have to also realize that Yahweh is watching.
Yes. Yeah.
He
appoints his angels to watch.
Yes.
And to give report. He's definitely watching us.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, that's everything. That however does not mean for you to, and I use the expression fake the funk.
Right. Because he knows your heart.
Right. Exactly.
He know when you fake it.
If you're angry, be angry.
But sin not.
Sin not.
That's right.
But
he didn't say you couldn't get mad.
Exactly. Exactly. You can get mad, you can get perturbed, you can be put off. Just don't go and sin. Do not curse Yahweh out of your mouth or with your actions. You have to think about things. You can't let this whatever this this problem is that you
Mhm.
have with
Mhm.
a person or whatever,
Mhm.
get walk in and interfere with your relationship with
Yeah.
Yahweh.
And what you have to realize with that as well is sometimes what they say, people are in your life for a season and they there for a reason.
Mhm.
So seasons change.
Right.
So remember that as well, that all relationships that end, they ran their course. It's Yah, if it's happening, it's Yah's will. So understand that as well. And that's why it's so important to know when she made the statement, and I'm paraphrasing, but forget mother, father, sister, brother, come follow me. Because they're gonna, people, I mean, it even said he couldn't even go and do the miracles around his own people.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't
because of their disbelief.
Exactly.
Or no, unbelief.
Unbelief. And the fact that we knew you when. See, we knew you when you was that little snot-nosed boy running around here doing whatever you was doing, that kind of thing. We knew you then, and they won't let go of your past. And so it makes it hard for you being called now to go forward in your future.
Right.
So that means sometimes them soul ties and them things, you got to let go of. You got to cut them off. He said it. He even said, who is my mother? Who is my brother? Everybody that follows Yah, that's who my people are. And we have to be, is he not our perfect example? We have to have that same mindset. Yeah. And it takes fasting, and it takes prayer, and it takes some strong will. Yeah. But it is what it is. So back to the 10 Commands, with the number 3 being the, excuse me, but with the number, with number 3, I'm trying to remember how they go. 3, taking his name in vain. Let's expound on that. Because we've dealt with the number 1 is you believe, okay, fine. But then number 2 is the bowing down, the idol worship, those things. Now, number 3, you don't take his name in vain. Let's deal with it, because Christians, even those that are awake, can fall for this one.
Right.
See, just because you're awake, you gotta get, what they say, wake up completely, be full awoke. Right. Right. Be completely awake. Don't be a zombie. Right. Don't be walking and still sleep.
Right.
Okay. Exactly. Let's deal with taking his name in vain. What does that mean?
Vanity is basically the whole thing where it's you being selfish. Now taking his name in vain, it can actually go in several directions.
Okay.
Because of the vanity of mankind, as the preacher said, vanity of vanity, all is vanity.
Yes.
Us taking his name, it's not saying, see, even though it's not right to do the curses, like
right, or swearing,
the MF word,
right,
F word, and that kind of thing. What a lot of people miss in that, if you say that GD thing,
yes,
see, that's not actually his name, though. His name is not Elohim. Is who he is.
Yes.
But what it means to take his name in vain, for instance, is to do something
and say he's behind
that's
it.
wrong, and say that he's the author of this.
Yes. So let's talk jihad for a second. You know how my mind goes. Don't they feel, oh, we will kill, we will do all this stuff, and we're doing it in his name. What you think?
Whose name?
Did Yah tell you to do this?
Right. He did not.
See, and that's what you mean when you take his name in vain, you're using him as your scapegoat. to do wrong things.
Exactly.
That's taking his name in vain.
Exactly.
I'm going to hit it on another level. Yah told me to marry her. Yah didn't tell you to marry her.
Right.
That was your lustful desire, but you tried to put Yah on it. Yah doesn't bless mess. Now, the way I'm saying this is in a way like this. Let's say she is a married woman, and then you, as a single man, meet her, and then you fall smitten to her, and she to you. And so, with that, you decide to enter into a relationship with this woman. Now, you've already messed up. I do believe it's number 8, the adultery, but I'm bringing it in as an example because then, and it happens with a lot of women as well, where they'll meet a man and he's already in a relationship. We're not going to even say he married to the woman, as far as we know, world marriage, like they've actually done I do's and stuff like that. And he's with the other woman, but then you meet him and fall, into lust with him. And then you say, oh, he's going to leave her for me. He's leaving her for me. Yah willed for us to be together. Yah does not bless mess. I have to repeat that. Yah does not bless mess. He is not going to give you some other person's mate while they are still together. That's not how he operates. He just doesn't. That is thievery. That is coveting. That is all those other things that they think on the surface they don't do, the 10, but you really are doing it.
Exactly.
You're lusting after someone else's man. That's number 10. You're coveting that. If the guy is with a woman that's already in another relationship, that's adultery.
Yep.
See, so it goes deeper and they overlap in ways that when you look at taking his name in vain, when you put his name on your stank, it's still stinky. Exactly. And that's what he does not want to be a part of because he's holy.
Exactly.
He don't deal with the stink. So for you to put him on your stinky, you're taking his name in vain.
And you're also lying.
There you go.
And that's
another one.
Right.
Was that number 7? So yeah, you're lying.
You shall not bear false
witness. There you go.
Your name. Matter of fact, even more so against Yah.
That's blasphemy.
It falls in line with taking his name in vain.
Yes, that's blasphemy.
It's blasphemy. Exactly.
You said you putting his name on something that he ain't ordained or told you.
Right.
None of that.
Exactly.
Be careful.
And that's it. We have to.
Let's deal with it again with Christendom. All of these so-called pastors, he called me to preach. And then you the main one up in your churches or circuses, as the word for that actually is.
Right.
Messing around, with women in the congregation.
Right.
Homosexuality. You got your front woman, you got your wife, but behind closed doors, you're a homosexual. Ooh, quit playing.
Stop playing.
You taking his name in vain.
In vain, exactly.
Ooh, that's a biggie.
That's a major problem on.
Oh my God.
On so many levels.
Oh my goodness, yes.
As
they call it, they actually have a term for the wife. She's called the beard.
The beard, right?
Isn't that something? It's actually a term for these down low brothers. That's another term.
Right.
Down low folks.
Right.
And when you put Yah in it, when you bring it into the ministry and you're saying all of this, he called me to do, and then you got all this dirt behind you, under your nails, in between your toes, you're stinky. You're just stinky.
Right.
You are taking his name in vain.
Exactly.
You are mocking him. You're making him of none effect, because look at all the people. When your dirt come out, look who it affected.
Exactly.
That falls in the line of, you may have been a demon from the start. You got all these people, you got a mega church, and then it comes out you a homosexual. And then now, all these people, are they going to keep on following you? See, judgment is coming upon them now because of your act.
Exactly.
Oh, it's deep.
Exactly. I mean, look at Korah in the wilderness, as it's called. How he spoke of his heart, saying, "Shall Yahweh speak only through Moses?" And took it upon himself to confront them.
He was real bold.
What type of spirit is that?
Come on.
What wound up happening because Yahweh didn't want too much of the rest of his people to be affected.
Right.
Is that
he made them an example.
He straight opened up the earth and swallowed them alive.
Sure did.
The Bible says they went alive into the pit. Where's that? Where is that scripture? It says it's a fearful thing. Fall into the hands.
Yes.
Yaqar.
Well, that's the wrath.
Or living.
Yes, that's his wrath. You don't want that. You don't want that smoke.
You really don't.
You don't want that.
Because not only are you being judged for that act, but after that, you are cast right into the pit.
Yes.
To burn away.
Yes.
There's no such thing as burning forever, because fire consumes.
Right. Eventually, there's nothing left. Right.
Not for us. I mean, I can see
what it means by
burning, because Yahweh's making him remember all of
his dirt
that he misled. But for us, we're gone.
Well, also too, the way you can look at that is, once you go into that fire, you ain't coming out. So it is eternal. You can look at it like that. It's not like you get pulled out of it. You're, ashes, whatever, you don't come out of it. So you do burn eternally, because you do not resurrect and come out of it.
Yeah, you become ash.
You become ash.
And that's the end.
That's the end. Exactly.
Then eventually the ash, because that's the thing. Now see where the emerging church jump into, which is a whole other discussion in itself about the emergent church. They say that you burn forever. Like, it's not quite like
okay.
You are destroyed.
Yes. There's no coming back from it.
Right. The Hebrew word is abad. You've seen it in the book of Revelation, when it speaks of Abaddon and Apollyon. That spirit. See, when that thing, well, I'm not talking about that event in the book of Revelation, but see, when you are destroyed, that means you are destroyed from prior knowledge at all. You
do not exist. It's over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are gone. In fact, there is no memory of you.
Yes.
And that's the thing. To live your life as long as you live it, only to simply be forgotten.
Isn't that sad?
And forgotten by Yah at that, of all people.
Yeah, he cast you away. He cast you into the pit.
Exactly.
Amazing. Yeah, you don't want that.
That's the thing. You want to.
That's the judgment you don't want to come under.
I mean, and that is the judgment.
That is the judgment.
Standing before the white throne is not the place that you want to be. You don't want to be standing in front of the great white throne.
Right.
He's standing there in holiness, in all holiness.
That's right.
And you, in your sinful state, are going to behold him in his most judgmental, in that judgment phase. but he's judging everyone.
Yeah. So to finish out that thought that I had brought up about the Yah does not bless mess, the best thing that you could do is, if it is a relationship situation, let that relationship play out. Move on would be the wisest thing, but let it play out. If the man does end up leaving his wife or so on and so forth, then maybe, but you gotta, it's so touchy that it's really unwise to enter into any type of marital situation that someone has with someone else, because you may have been a contributing factor for it going the way it goes. And it clearly says, let no man put asunder what Yah has joined together. So see, just because you may step back and go, well, I'm gonna let him finish out that relationship and I'll be waiting in the wings, you're a contributing factor to him acting in the way he's acting.
Right.
And you fall under judgment from that. So I'm gonna say, as a woman, to any woman listening, leave these men and other relationships alone. There's too many. And you trust in Yah, he will bring you someone that is not in a relationship with another woman, that can give himself completely to you. And then you ask the other things as well, that he follow Yah, that that he realizes Yah as his father and first, and then let the order establish itself that way. But all of these, oh yeah, he left me for her, and you think that was a great thing? Woo! You think you won? The devil tricking you. I don't care. I am so serious with that. You could be with him for 50 years and you're going to still have to come under judgment for that, because you took a situation, if Yah especially joined it together, let no man put asunder. You have a price to pay for that. You have a price to pay for that. So it's best that you seek your own. And if you can't find your own right now, wait on Yah. But don't get yourself in, the devil loves to make stuff, what is it, euphemisms. Don't get yourself in no entanglement.
Right.
He loves to take words and make it sound all beautiful. And entanglement is what? An affair.
Basically it's about
issues taking somebody else's, coveting.
Right. Covetousness.
Yep, that's what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Lust.
Lustful, yeah. And jealousy. A lot of times people just want it because you had it and they jealous of you, which falls right into that jealousy, the covetousness. Right. Do not be jealous of what your neighbor has.
Right.
See?
Exactly.
Because it's going to make you do dumb stuff.
Right. You can't afford it.
Yep.
Spiritually, none of us can afford to be
jealous of somebody else's situation and want theirs.
Right, and walking in a because it's Yahweh who made that. He made it abundantly clear that yeah, we should not lust or oh, he used the word covet. Yeah, covet means lust. It means you shall not fall under the spell of.
Come on. It is. It's a spell.
Yeah.
It's demonic.
And you can't do it because basically it falls under idolatry.
Oh, again. All of that. Yeah. That you put a relationship before Yah, because that's what you're doing, which is idolatry. You want that situation, and I say situation because it could be male or female, but you want that person so bad that you are willing to do things out of character, out of reason, out of covenant to make it happen. That's idolatry.
It is.
It's a lot of things. See, those 10 commands go real deep. And that's why and a lot of people, and that's why I say in Christendom, as well as those that claim to be or know that they are Hebrews, you could be falling for some stuff. You could be doing some stuff that you out of pocket. And he says, many call themselves Yisrael that are not.
They're not Israel. You're
not even Yisrael. You calling yourself that, but your actions.
Right.
Your actions, the way you do things, the way you move is what does it. And so we're going to leave rule number 3 is beyond powerful. But number 4, because let's say you're doing all the other ones, you're good. Like we said, you're following all those main 6, and then you're even good with the first 3. But then you, in Christendom, got number 4. remember the Shabbat Yom or Sabbath day to keep it what?
Kodesh.
Kodesh
Holy.
or holy.
Keep
it
wait,
holy.
Wait.
Not completely WHOLLY, which you are to do that as well, but the holy there is HOLY.
Yes.
Kodesh.
In other words, you have that's in the book of Deuteronomy. It says, remember too. In Exodus, it says, keep.
There you go.
Or Shema. In other words,
do
guard it.
Yes.
Guard it.
Yes.
Block that day off.
Yes.
From all other days.
Yes. Now let's deal with it. I love the Shabbat.
Shabbat is,
and it's actually a conversation within itself. We could do a whole podcast on just the Shabbat and the regulations of it, and maybe we'll do that. Yeah, but to keep it surface, to deal with these 10 commands, we'll just keep it surface for now. Do you agree with that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's keep it surface, and then we'll go into a more in-depth teaching on the actual ordinances involved.
Right.
And how you're supposed to do it. And the fact that it's been in existence forever. They were doing it in heaven, but see, that's another whole in the heavens.
Right. Is that since?
Oh my goodness.
On earth since day 7.
Yes, but existed before then. The angels even did. Before all this other stuff, the earth realm came into existence. They were already doing it.
They were worshiping.
And we'll get into that because that's a beautiful thing. But to stay on this thing where Christendom says, oh, well, pretty much I'm doing the 10. I'm doing the 10. So I'm good. I ain't got to, they don't want to do those 613, blah, 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 blah. But are you really doing the 10? And that's what brings us to number 4, which is the Sabbath. If you are in your Sunday worship, and that is the day you hold in high esteem toward worshiping your creator, because I ain't gonna say it's the same creator. Right. Real talk.
Right.
So when that's the day you choose to worship it, yeah, Big Mama did it and my dear did it, so I do it too. What is that saying?
Idolatry again, because the only day, excuse me, that Yahweh put in place for his worship and his time is the day that he's already celebrating on and has celebrated for the past
ever
indefinite
right
indefinite past.
Exactly. Ever reversed.
Exactly. It's you can't take Yahweh's words and bend them to the way that you want them to go, because for one, who is he that thinks that he can go up to heaven, bring Yahweh down?
Come on now.
No.
Look what he did at Babel, just for that reason.
Right.
They got haughty. They said we're gonna get to him.
He dissembled that group by language, and in fact, he destroyed the Tower of Babel. You threw it down, and see that. And on a quick side note, that is how Yahweh wants us to think, like them, like they thought that.
Okay.
He had to actually go into action to stop them.
He sure did.
Himself. So
that's letting you know.
That lets you know just how powerful.
There you go.
1 Corinthians 1
there
and 10
you go.
is.
There you go.
It's do the same thing, think the same thing,
yes.
Act the same way. You don't
necessarily
have to dress alike.
Right.
But look, your mind is thinking the same thing.
Right.
Right. You all are powerful. 1 shall chase 1,000. 2 shall put 10,000.
But your thought has to be in the right place.
It has to be.
We can look at it. I'm gonna take it from this way. The mega church. Let's say it's a 10,000 member church, and they all on one mind, one accord. They looking at their leader as a god because it's idol worship. And then what happens as a result? Your leader has jets, Bentleys, beautiful homes. They can only live in one at a time, but they got several mansions, all kinds of manner of cars. You, as a collective 10,000 member group, had power. And what you did with your power is you created a monster,
Yep.
a forefront monster to represent you. But it shows the power, as you were speaking, of people acting on one accord. You got to have the same ideas in place. Those 10,000 believe in taking care of their pastor. So what happens? He gets taken care of. It's not a good thing,
Right.
okay? Because he's leading you to destruction.
Right.
You know, that ditch is there, and he going right in it with you, because he's not teaching you right living. He's teaching you tithing.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's make it plain. Or his idea of tithing.
His idea with the tithing.
Because we already know many of their ideas of tithing is incorrect.
A lot of theirs are incorrect.
Yeah, most
and there was
of theirs are incorrect.
There was a major teaching that just went down not too long ago by someone that I know personally.
We won't say names because everybody knows, and we're not giving them no credit. But yeah,
you just,
and even in their so-called turning, they're still wrong. But that's another whole thing for another day, because it's a process, and we have to give room for that. May he continue to grow in his true knowledge, in real knowledge. We'll just say that. But it shows back to the collective that groups working together with one mind can accomplish a whole lot. And in that Babel situation, Yah was letting it be known. Oh, they was coming up. They was on their way. They had one mind, and when they worked together, they was about to get some results that I didn't want them to have yet.
Right.
So he brought that power down. He mixed the languages because he wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
That was some of that knowledge that the Nephilim, come on, let be known.
Exactly.
Because they don't, my goodness, the Nephilim hates the human.
Yeah.
Okay? Come on now. Yeah. We know this. And again, that's another conversation for another day. Exactly. But they wanted them destroyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, do this. I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to teach you the geometry of building these huge pyramids.
Right.
How you can get to that next level.
And where to build it.
Come on now.
As well.
The geography of it. The geography and the geometry.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the mathematics behind it.
Right.
The equations. And let you just go.
Right.
Because they don't like us. They put these things ahead of when they were supposed to be revealed.
Right.
But it shows you the in-depth nature of Yah. He's deep. He is so deep. Oh my goodness, he's so deep.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we're looking at this number 4, the Shabbat, he said, keep it holy. Keep it holy. Even when you go into Leviticus, and I'll just pull the 11th chapter because it's throughout, he says it, but in the 11th is when he speaks of the food law.
Right.
He ends it at the end by saying, do this because I'm holy. You be holy because I'm holy. Period. If we're going to be members of the same family and we want to commune together and be around each other, I need you to get on my level. I need you to be like me so that I can dwell with you.
Exactly.
I need you to realize to remove the shoes from your feet because you're on holy ground. Don't bring your dirt with you. Don't bring your uncleanliness with you.
Pride.
And straight up uncleanliness, dirty, the blood, the nita, all the things that make you unclean, touching dead bodies, being around dead bodies, those things that will make you unholy. I can't communicate. I can't sit and chill with you when you're doing that. So let me show you how to not do those things so that we can have a good relationship. That's the love of it. And that's the truth. He's telling you what you need to do to get to him. That's one of the most loving things a person can do.
Exactly.
Show me how to get to you.
Exactly.
show me how to love you. And then let me learn and fall in line, because you're the one with all the power. You're the one with so much love to give that I'd actually be silly to not want that in my life.
Right.
You have so many beautiful things, and I know that because I see creation. See, those that say, how you know there's a God, how would you answer that?
How would I answer that?
Mm-hmm.
I would basically point to the creation itself.
Mm-hmm.
Why can you explain why there's a robin? Can you explain why there's a hummingbird
Or a cardinal, any variations thereof?
Why? What is the hippopotamus?
Right.
What is his role in this?
Right.
In the grand scheme
Mm-hmm.
of things? What about the zebra?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they around? Why is there a lion?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a tiger?
Mm-hmm.
Why are all
why
these
are there
things
trees
in place?
Why? Yeah.
Exactly.
Why is any of this here?
What is this all about? And all of those atheists there are atheists who do read the Bible.
Mm-hmm. I find it interesting that they would, but yeah.
They read it, but they mainly only read it
to try to tear it down.
To find reason.
Yeah, and they're looking for fault.
Well, see, it's not that they find fault in the word.
Oh, they can't. It's perfect.
They find fault in the people who do not read and study the word.
Yes.
And they can continue to tear them down. That's the whole thing of the atheists, basically. Because I mean, for them to not to proclaim that they don't know an Elohim or a God, if using the American, where do their thoughts come from? What is it? Because humans don't do all that stuff on their own.
Right.
How come when you were out there you didn't get into that accident?
Yeah.
You were guided. It seemed that something just stopped you and made you go a whole different route, and you got back on the route and saw the accident happen and thought,
I would have been a part of that.
I would have been right. That would have been me.
That's happened to me. Yes.
And I mean, and before we even started walking this walk, this stuff has happened to us. I know I can definitely say that. I know you can definitely say that as well. Yeah.
I don't remember everything, but some things, what they call them, deja vus or whatever.
Yeah.
But some things I'm like, ooh,
things
this happened.
That was not some. Well, for one, we are the most unsuspecting human beings are very unsuspecting. You have to learn how to be
observant,
cynical.
Yes, paranoid. Actually,
right. Well,
it's a level of paranoia.
Well, cynical.
Okay.
Specifically.
Okay.
Cynical meaning that you see it happen, but you don't believe it. Or believe in it. Like, no, that's it. But it takes years of training to become cynic. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Doesn't it say that we're naturally open to Yahweh? Doesn't that itself just explain the fact that Yahweh made in us a spot for him that it took you years and years
to figure out
to figure out how to deny it, how to fight against it.
That's your training.
Exactly.
Come on now. That's your training.
Yourself.
Yes.
To not believe.
Yes.
That doesn't. I mean, just just because you don't believe doesn't, and you, here's another thing about humans a lot of time. Because we don't believe in stuff, we believe that our non-belief makes that thing non-existent.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And then if you get, again, power in numbers, you get enough people behind you that think like you, now you're like, okay, well, it is what it is because all the people I'm around have the same feeling. But that's not true.
No, it's not truth at all.
It's not true.
And
it may be a fact that, yeah, all of y'all believe the same thing. That's a fact. Yeah. But that don't make it the truth.
No.
Oh, that's one of the biggest things. I don't know if it disturbs others, but it disturbs me when people talk about my truth. This is my truth.
Right.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Truth.
Your truth don't make it the truth. It's just the way you perceive a thing. It's your perspective.
Well, really, what is your truth?
Right. It's what you believe.
Truth.
Don't make it true.
Truth in the Hebrew. Well, let me break it down this way. Truth and emunah,
faith,
or even amin, are all from the same root word.
Okay.
In Hebrew, which is amin.
So be it, amen.
Yes. They all.
So it is.
They all come from that same word. So, with it being faith, then is truth.
Come on.
It has to be.
Come on.
Solid. It has to be.
It's
concrete.
impossible to please him without it.
It is impossible. I mean, for
come on,
that he that believes in him must believe that he is.
There you go.
He exists. He is the I am.
There you go.
He is the
yes.
Or I am that.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
I am which I am.
Yes.
I am what I am. And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
That's right. So the atheist right there
is done away with.
Yep.
They don't have
the base.
They don't, right. They can't. I mean, you see, your foundation as an atheist, I'm talking to atheists now, is completely sinking sand. Or we've in the words of Deputy Dog, quick mud.
Quick mud. Okay.
Yeah, you all
quick
remember
sand,
Deputy Dog.
Quick mud.
Quicksand.
You have mud, no foundation.
Down you go.
Yeah.
And you can't get out.
Yes.
That's
muck.
That's the
thing. Can't get out of the muck.
Exactly. You need help.
Yes.
You need outside help to get out of that.
Yes.
And
you need somebody throwing you a lifeline.
That's what atheism is. Yes, it is a thing that needs to be thrown a life. Well, I mean, in order to survive, but we ultimately know that it will not survive.
Right.
It's going to die.
It's going to die. It's going to smother.
Tracks.
It's going to be smothered out.
Yeah, it's going to go down into the quick mud.
Yeah, and the life will be cut off. The air supply will exist no more.
Exactly. You can't breathe in sand.
Nope, that's not possible.
Even if the sand is wet.
Ugh, that's even worse problem. Oh goodness, yeah, but so when we're looking at number 4, which is the Shabbat, he says, "Be holy, for I'm holy." Keep this, guard it, remember it. See, in order for you to guard something, that means you are paying attention to it. What you gonna guard? The air? It has to be something tangible,
right,
for you to put your armor on and guard it.
Right.
See, so he gave us the Sabbath, and the beauty of it is, oh my goodness, it's a day to just relax and chill. He is the creator of our bodies, of our body structure. He knew that it would need to relax, that it would need to rest. He said, for 6 days, do all your work. Work means the things of your body. You do your we
The
said
things
how
of
we're
your-
agricultural people.
Right.
Do your plowing, do your planting, do your reaping, do your sowing, however you want to pull the weeds, okay?
Right.
Fumigate, do all of
Exactly.
that then for 6 days.
Exactly. Also keep your commitments. So
Yes.
pay your rent.
Of course, do those things then,
Do this.
because
do that.
on this day, you're going to relax.
Do
You're not
nothing.
cooking.
in
And that's why I
fact-
said we'll go into the different ordinances of the day, but you're not cooking, you're not sowing, you're not reaping, you're not, well, you can reap, but you better eat it if you reap it.
Immediately.
Immediately, like
Yeah.
Mashiach did. He took that corn and he ate it.
Exactly.
You're doing it for substance for your meal. Eat it immediately. You're not
Right.
cooking though. You're not making a pot of greens. No, if you
Right.
feel the need that you need that green, you
Exactly.
pluck it and you eat it right then, fresh.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And when we say cook, we're saying not from scratch.
Right.
You know, you can't go pick the green and
Exactly. You put it in the
clean them.
Yeah, no. You're
you
eating
can't do that.
to eat the meal at that time and to keep it moving.
Exactly.
That's what you're
Exactly.
doing.
Yep.
And there's so many different, I shouldn't say so many, because that right there gives people, especially our people, pause. One thing they say, if ever you want to hide something, put it in a book. And if you ever don't want somebody to do something, make it a whole bunch of instructions behind it. It's just the way of our people. All of a sudden, they don't want to do it. It takes too much. Oh, you got to do all that. But then, that's why sin is so easy.
Exactly. Yeah,
Because it ain't much you
right.
got to do.
Right.
You can fall into it so quick, fast, in a hurry.
Exactly.
That's why it was designed that way.
And that's also why that's the thing about eating right as well. I'll use it as an illustration. See, you go to the store. The stuff that you see on the shelves is a little bit expensive. Well, it's less expensive than if you went to the gas station. You go to the gas station, and that is in a lot of cases, the convenience
There
store.
you go. Yeah. Quick Mart.
See, you pay for convenience.
Yes.
But see, thing is with that food there, though, that food there, they're not selling fruit.
Right.
They're not selling
fresh meat.
Fresh anything that is, that has a lot of
nutritional value.
You're getting something quick and cheap.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah.
However, when you go to the grocery store, you've got to make sure you got some money in your pocket as well. And you have to do this, you have to do that, and but you are going to a place where you can find stuff. Well, as long as you shop around the perimeter of the store.
Yeah, right. And, oh yeah, for people that don't know what you just said, around the perimeters is where the most healthy selections are.
On the outside,
for the most part,
produce.
Yeah.
Produce
and the meat and the dairy.
Right? But not any of the processed foods.
Yeah, all the processed things that are in boxes and
right.
cans,
right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
They're in the center aisles or the middle aisles.
Right. For instance, I'm sorry to break your hearts.
Oh no.
But Captain Crunch is not a food group.
Yeah, right.
None of that.
Right.
They're not even
whole grains are good.
Whole grains are fine.
But again, that's usually on the outside.
Right.
That's in the outer perimeters.
And in fact, all the stuff in the middle is usually what we refer to as processed foods. Yes. Processed foods means that they are synthetic.
Yeah. Or they've added some chemicals to it to preserve it.
Some preservatives.
Yeah.
The only natural preservatives that we had back in the day was salt
Yeah,
And
pretty much salt.
and if you could find a way to make ice.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was the only way
And
to
that was it.
preserve.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And you know, the ice is not gonna last forever. So, you know, so you know, best hurt and even today, um, when we eat our foods, we need to be careful to buy the stuff that's perishable.
Yeah,
Perishable foods are the best for you.
yeah.
And
And that lends to the freshness.
exactly. In other words, you can only keep it fresh for so long
before it goes bad.
and then it goes back.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means that it had
nutritional value.
Nutritional value. But this stuff, you buy an apple and 3 months later you got it in your refrigerator still. That is not something you want to eat.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I digress.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Oh yeah, right. Back on back on to number 4. So with those in Christendom that say, oh, I'm doing all the rest. Well, now it does fall into that if you're guilty of one, you're guilty of them all.
If you're feminine one, you are guilty of all.
Because they all go together. We kind of explained that with number 3 with taking his name in vain. Right. Off of that alone, we got into idolatry, adultery, covetousness, lying, just off of that.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they all intertwine and work together. And you could be honoring your mother and father. You could not kill. You may not steal, but you are stealing when you don't recognize the 4th day.
Exactly.
You're stealing a rule that was put in place for your benefit.
Yeah. And you're choosing
to not do it.
From Yah, and you are also cheating him of a relationship with you.
Making you a thief.
And that's another
one.
Another thing.
You won't steal, but yes, you did. You stole his holy day. You made a replacement.
Right, or more romantically, you stole his heart.
Ooh-wee.
You broke his heart, and that's something you don't want to do.
Mama.
Because it's a fearful thing. Of the living El, of the living El. He is the only wise Elohim, and really you don't want to get smart with him. You want to be obedient. You want to stay on the mark, because at any time could be your end. And that's the thing. We have to be obedient in order. See, he said that if you obey, you're going to eat the fat of the land. You're going to eat the good of the land. Yes. You're going to eat all that which has all the necessary nutrients and vitamins and everything in it. You just have to be obedient. But if you're not obedient, see, as in Deuteronomy chapter 28, you have 14 verses that talk about your obedience. But then on the other hand, verses 15 through 68, the last, the last 51 or 52 verses, your disobedience is going to get you so much worse off.
My goodness.
That's the whole thing. We have to be obedient to his commandments. Keep them now, even though you might think to yourself that it's okay to not do them. And it's not okay.
Yes, and you will grow in your knowledge. You will grow in grace. You will grow in understanding as you continue on your walk. You won't get it all at once, but you'll get it. And you'll get it in the portions that he releases it to you. It's all his doing. He has it in place. It's a foolproof system for those who do not act foolishly. Exactly. So we're going to end this one. That was wonderful. Talking about the 10 commands of the Most High. And those that are in Christendom, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And those of us that are in the walk as well, we need to check ourselves and make sure that that we're following his rules, his statutes, his laws, his commands, and that we don't fall under the wrong judgment, because he's got judgments too.
Exactly.
And so that's what we're seeking. We hope that you have been blessed by this message. Continue to tune in to our podcast as we go over many different subjects. If you have questions, feel free to send us an email. We do not open it up for live discussion, but that may be if enough people are saying, no, let's talk about this live, maybe we'll go that route. We do have other things that we do during the week that we will be putting on the website of different Zoom meetings that we attend and are a part of with brethren in the fellowship, that we do come together and discuss topics and things. So there is a place for all of us in this community. And so we just told Yah for this time that he has given us to share with you and to give insight. And we are humble. We are very humble. If there's any error in our communications with you, may he correct us, and we will willfully come to you all and say, oops, we made a mistake. We need to clear this up, things like that. So we just thank you again for this time. And we ask that you just, always remember, ask Yah to bring you closer to the saints.
Further from the ants.
Praise Yah. Todia. Shalom.
Hallelujah.
Thanks for listening. This has been a BAOY production.